You may feel like you're going to fail at it. You're not going to do it well. So you tend to step back. I'd rather not be engaged than to fail at it and look like a failure. But the reality is, and I tell my husband this all the time, we both became parents at the same time. I didn't have any more experience than you had at it. We're just trying to figure this thing out. Yeah. And so a lot of times you'll hear people say, I can't speak to this because I don't have any grandchildren, but you'll hear people say they feel like they got a second chance when they have grandkids because all the things that they didn't know how to do, didn't quite get right the first go around, they have a chance to correct that with the grandchildren. But, to your point, some people feel like it is an option. And once you've made that decision, that's where the option came in, Constance, to be honest. You have the option when you're making the decision. Once the deed is done, there are no options.
There are no options. Somebody said because men are natural providers and protectors, men are not natural providers and protectors. We're lied to. And I remember I would see like people that I knew women who weren't taking care of their kids. And for me, that is one of the most lowest women that you could, like a woman who doesn't take care of her kids. Cause I would see that up close and personal. I know a couple of women who didn't. And I used to just think, how can a woman not take care of their kids? Not knowing, a couple of years later, I would have their dad not doing the same thing. But I just think it's one of the lowest things that a person can do is say that, I opt not to, even though I created this child, or having the delusion to think that what you're doing is enough when you're not doing anything. But I want to pose the same question to you, Dr. Felice, that I posed to Miss Black Hollywood. What was that question I said to you? What was the question? What are
assistance?
Yeah. No. Actually, the one I said to Sabrina, what's the hardest realities that young single mothers face when raising children alone?
So first, I want to go back to what you said too about it's hard to see women who don't take care of their children. Sometimes the best thing that some people can do is just be the vessel. The vessel to get the child here is enough for honor, right? Because what people don't take into consideration that every time you lie down, man and female, you have the ability to procreate. And so when you lay down with not understanding that responsibility and the possible outcomes, that alone is a sign of immaturity, right? And carelessness. And so with that carelessness doesn't mean necessarily that those people are meant or want to be parents. Everybody is not a parent. And everybody doesn't want to be a parent, but some of them choose to bring that child forth so that they can have an opportunity to pursue their purpose, plan, and call on life. Right. And sometimes that's their best. So with that being said, some of the reasons why I think, or some of the things that are hard is I knew for me was the guilt that I carried. Knowing that I couldn't show up as a man and a woman for my child. And so that was very hard for me. What was hard for me was the heartbreak that my daughter would experience from the broken promise. That is what was difficult for me. And me trying to overcompensate in other ways took a toll on me and zapped my energy. And so I really depended upon the goodness of friends. I depended upon the goodness of my church family.